Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is pure at heart and says his prayers at night, but still he may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. It's David Cross.
Oh, man. I'm excited to talk about this movie.
I saw this film in 2010, directed by Joe Johnston, the Wolfman, starring Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt, Hugo and Anthony Hopkins, and I saw the theatrical cut, and I watched it with my wife and John Lazavath, who was the host on this show for the first probably 100 episodes. And when we walked out of that 100 minutes, I mean less with the credits, I felt like I had stepped out of a fever dream. I stepped out of a gothic fever dream fueled by Red Bull. All I remember is watch this movie. I just remembered the visuals, and it's really stuck with me for the last 10 years. Anthony Hopkins throwing that chair up in the air. John Lazavath and I had made a big joke about that. But just some of the visuals and I called it very sumptuous. The lighting, the costumes, the Oscar-winning makeup done by Rick Baker. But then I kind of thought about it. But then I try to discuss the plot, and it feels like it's all a dream to me. I know it's very linear. It takes place over 4 full moons. But it's hard to explain this movie, right? It feels like the less of something that was made, but I still love it.
I think you hit the nail on the head with your metaphor, the gothic fever dream fueled by Red Bull. Because that's exactly what this is. Because we were chatting online, and I was like, I feel like this is 2 separate movies that were smacked together. It's Underworld and then Crimson Peaks. Just like, smack them together, and this is what you get.
Wow,
it's like it feels like the writer probably wanted to create this moody, atmospheric thing, and the studio's like, Underworld's great, let's have some action, and that'll sell. And it comes together in this strange amalgamation where individually both parts are fun, but sometimes they don't work together.
I mean, it jumps all over the place, but also the more you learn about the history of this, Mark Romanek was supposed to direct it, of 1 Hour Photo, that movie that's really dark and ominous. He was supposed to direct it. He wanted 20 more days. They wouldn't give him 20 more days, so then they brought in Joe Johnston, who's just a consummate pro. I mean, the guy had worked on Rocketeer, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Hidalgo, October Sky. After this, he went on to Captain America, The First Avenger. So they brought him in 3 weeks beforehand. Now, a little history. When he took over for Stuart Gordon for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, they gave him an extra 8 weeks of pre-pro. This one, they just said, get in there. And to his credit, I found an interview where Anthony Hopkins said this poor chap had no time to prep, but he's kept the boat steady, and he's been calm, and he's kept it going. And Anthony Hopkins said that he's one of the best directors he's worked with in a long time. And that's high praise from Anthony Hopkins, just that he could step in there with 3 weeks and make it happen. But the problem is they had to go back for mass reshoots because they cut a lot of stuff out of the script. But then when they saw the final cut, they went, crap, that expensive stuff that we needed, that we cut out of the script, we need. So then they put more money into it, and then this ended up costing $150 million. And this movie, it came close to that internationally, which is pretty excellent for an R-rated Wolfman film. You have a director coming in with 3 weeks of pre-pro, mass reshoots, a lot of studio notes. You have just all these things combined, and despite all that, I still think Joe Johnston steered this in a visually interesting place, where I think a less interesting film with less pro actors would fall apart. But for this one, it's well worth the watch. I mean, I've watched this movie probably 10, 12 times. I don't remember it after watching it for some reason because it's such a fever dream. I'm like sweaty after watching it. But a lot of visuals stick in my memory, and we forget so much in this film. But I love the head lops off. Emily Blunt at the end when she's hiding by the tree. The chair throw from Hopkins when he's calling everyone idiots inside the sanitarium. The mental hospital. I don't know, for some reason it sticks out. So I pitched this movie to you. What did you think about why? Like, what were your first thoughts watching this thing?
Yeah. So before I get to that, I'll just give you like a quick my relationship to this film. So I had never seen it before you pitched this to me. Like I had always meant to, and I never got around to it when it first came out. I was like, this is a movie I should love because I'm a big fan of the Universal Horror Monsters. In fact, I have the Guide to Universal Horror Movies on my desk as we speak. I have a ton of their action figures. When I was little, I used to have a club with my friends, the Monster Club, and we all were monsters in it. I was very little.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is like a movie that's right up my alley, and I was like, I just never got around to it. I don't know why. And so you pitched it to me, and I was like, you know what? Finally, let's do this. And my first impressions of the film is is really like I like it, but I don't know what I watched. Like your description of a fever dream is perfect, basically because I watched it 2 days ago. I gave it my full undivided attention, and I still can't remember some of the things that happened. You're absolutely right.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. And I had to go back for this podcast and scrub through the video just so I could remember scenes and write down scenes. And that so rarely happens to me because usually when I watch a movie, I am on it. I know what's happening, but not this film.
I found a way to really figure this movie out, and it's basically a tale of 4 action scenes. So you have the gypsy camp where the initial violence kicks off. And then you have Del Toro versus the hunters in the pit. Then you have the London massacre, and then you have the werewolf brawl. So if you can separate those 4 things into it, that's the easiest way for me to get into this film, because once he turns into a werewolf and he goes to the insane asylum or whatever it is, that's when this movie just goes on light speed. And it's it's hard to look. I love it. I do. I love this movie. And the 2-hour director's cut, you know what's wild is this is one of the rare times where the theatrical cut's 1 hour and 42 minutes. The director's cut is about 2 hours. But both of them, when I watch them, I still go, I don't remember much. And I'm not being sassy here. I'm not being like pithy because I love this movie. I'm not being that guy. Oh, I don't remember. I legit I'm like, what happened?
Let's dissect that, Mark, because in all honesty, not a lot happens, right?
No. 4 action scenes, pretty much.
Yeah, he shows up. His brother's dead. He gets bitten. He kills some people. He goes to London. He fights in London. like he comes back. There's a fight. It's over. It's like everything is really long and drawn out, and yeah, it's a thin plot.
Very thin. The original had more life to it. I mean, you had Lon Chaney coming back. He gets which in the director's cut, he gets the cane, which we never see again, the silver wolf cane. He kills Bela Lugosi. Then he has a thing with the antiques dealer, Gwen. And then he kills a grave digger. And then at the end, his dad smushes him, his head. His dad kills him. So I guess there's more of a story there. This one's just Del Toro gets bit. Then he kills some people. Then he goes to a sanitarium. Then he kills his dad.
They try to combine elements, I believe, of Werewolf in London, the original that came out before the original, The Wolfman. Like I think it was 36 or 35, 1936 or 35 was that movie. So The Wolfman has both those elements. It's like a sort of a combo of both of them.
But it looks so good.
It does. It does look really, really, really good. So speaking of us having a hard time remembering stuff, do you want to talk about our 5 favorite scenes to jog our memories?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So 5 favorite scenes. Are we talking about anything from the film that we remember?
Anything that you like about the movie, the film? Because I was just struggling with it.
I mean, it looks beautiful with the discussion between Gwen and Benicio del Toro or Larry by that waterfall. I think that's all green screen, blue screen, but it looks beautiful. And the scene at the end when he's on top of her, I mean, Emily Blunt I think she's really good in this movie. She pulls off every line that she has, and I really dig it. Okay, and then also the chair throw by Anthony Hopkins, where he starts turning into a werewolf, and he just throws a 50-pound chair like it's like a fun noodle in the air, like it's absolutely nothing. I do love the cheeky gag where the guy tries to get stuck in a bog, tries to shoot himself, and gets his head lopped off.
That's right.
And man, what else do I remember in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I can go through mine if you want to think about it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so the number 5 is the gothic vibe. We've talked about this a couple times, but it looks really, really good, and it lends this creepy atmosphere to it that sometimes doesn't quite work with the action, but I really appreciate it. So there's also Sir John punking the whole town, telling them his servants on the roof. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the creepiest scene for me, and I think you mentioned this, was the montage when Lawrence was in the sanitarium, and you had the statue look at him and it turned into his mother and then the blood across the throat. That entire fast forward scene was really, really cool and strange.
Oh, yeah.
Then I guess this is number 2, is Sir John's delivery of "You've done terrible things."
Yeah.
It's so good. I remember that being in the trailer and I was like, oh, this is great.
He's like, good luck, kid.
Yeah. And then this is MMF mainstay number 1. I know this is so funny. So during that final fight scene with the Wolfman fight scene, gravity doesn't matter. Let's just be honest.
None.
They do this crazy spin, like Sir John just basically smacks Lawrence, and he does this like cannonball spin across the room. And all I could think of when I watched that was Blanca from Street Fighter, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I see that now. That's fun.
Yeah. Honorable mention, and I'm sure we will mention this too. Hugo Weaving. So I didn't know he was in this film. I only knew it was John Hopkins and Benicio Toro, and when he showed up, I lost my mind because I love Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, and then he reunited with Joe Johnston for Captain America: The First Avenger, which makes me happy. But I mean, and also during the final fight. So I also started another podcast called Final Fights, and this is the 5th one I've looked at where people just straight up run at each other. So Incredible Hulk, Blade 2, let's see, what else is there? Count of Monte Cristo. In Final Fights, it's such a trope where the two just run at each other. But I like this one. 2 fuzzy werewolves charging each other. And I love that Anthony Hopkins does a shirt rip in this so you can tell which one is who in the fight, which they do a good job of, which makes me happy. But, yeah. I mean, that final fight, though, there are some really neat shots. And the flips are weird. The climb on the wall like he's some sort of vampire. They destroy the piano, a couple couches. But there's a part where Del Toro's werewolf scratches the back of Hopkins, like scratches Hopkins' back and just gashes go through. So there's enough there to really make it work. And then it ends up with Anthony Hopkins on fire and then just getting his head lopped off like it's nothing. Oh, man.
Yeah. I wrote down while watching that fight scene was, when did wolves become cats? because they are incredibly agile. When I think of the Wolfman, I don't think of them being agile. I think of them as more being brooding and vicious. And that was one thing I would have liked to seen more of, like the back scratches and the claw scratches, not acrobatics.
Well, that's what the fight originally was, and they went back and refilmed it with more jumping. Okay. So they needed the hops. They needed the jumps.
They needed the hops. Absolutely.
Now, I do want to say, during the initial attack at the camp where the gypsies were at, for lack of a better term, that's just what they're called. They call them worse things than that in the movie. But so when John attacks his initial attack, he kills a guy in the middle of the crowd. His first kill is someone in the crowd. So that means there's hundreds of people. He runs in, does a run-by scratching on a gypsy guy, and then gets out of there before anybody can see him, and then he dies.
Yeah, that's a really strange scene because you still don't quite know what's going on. I should mention I'm going to call them the Romani.
The Romani.
I'm going to call them the Romani because I did some research, and apparently gypsy is a negative term, a slur, which I didn't know about until recently. So I'm going to do my best to say Romani.
And don't call them pikeys like they did in Snatch. That's terrible too.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, the Romani in that scene, I wished it was a little slower. And I also wish the CGI on the bear was different.
Yeah.
That bear's weird looking.
Yeah. It's a funky bear. But I guess this is another world. So maybe bears look like that in this world.
Yeah. I read somewhere that was a reuse of something from the Golden Compass, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a recycled animation from the Golden Compass that they just slightly changed.
Well, you got to save money.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about this film. Like, the director came in and he, forgiving all the constraints, he really did hit it out of the park. I mean, the one thing I really wished would have had is like less CGI. But then reading about this film, he was like, I had to do the CGI in order to get the movie done on time. Mm-hmm. And once you know that, everything makes sense.
Well, Rick Baker is an absolute genius, and he won an Oscar for this. And he said later on that he was bummed that there is CGI in it. But the issue is, Del Toro took 3 hours to get ready. Anthony Hopkins took 3 hours to get ready. These blood gags, these scratch gags, these decapitation gags, they take time. And Rick Baker and his crew, they're perfectionists. So if you have any type of blood gag, werewolf gag, any of those gags, you're going to need to get someone prepared, dressed, ready to go. And I'm not saying this is the best. You shouldn't just we'll do it in post. That's not what you should do. But that's what Joe Johnston had to do to make it go by faster. So he had time. And I mean, he had, 2 years in post for this movie?
That's true. It got done in 2008, came out in 2010.
But this is one of those weird cases where the studio fought like tooth and nail to not give Mark Romanek and not give Joe Johnston the extra days. But then what happened was they needed to give them the extra days, and it became more expensive. So I've worked on music videos before where they go, okay, we're going to knock it out in one day as opposed to doing 2 12-hour days because it's cheaper. But the issue is, if you shoot for 20 hours, people go on overtime after 12. So 12 to 14, they go to 1.25. Then 14 to 16, then like 1.75. And then from 16 to 20, they're getting paid double their wages. So they walk out with a little bit more than 2 days of pay for 1 day of work because they didn't want to stretch it. And that seems like the case on this, where they had all the ambition in the world, but they were trying to go into it cheaply, and then it cost them an additional $70 million to finish.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, and you know what annoys me too? The head of the studio at Universal said that one of the worst movies we ever made was Wolfman and Babe 2. They are 2 of the shittiest movies we put out. And I think that's kind of BS because at the end of the day, listen, this movie is a fever dream, but it looks beautiful. It looks good and it's well performed. It's cut all over the place, but it's weird that he said that. But I think that's more of their mistake. I mean, you can't give a guy 3 weeks prep and then expect him to shoot a massive script with tons of blood and gags and effects with Rick Baker on time. It's just, and in England too, those are different hours. I mean, you're probably working, like they take breaks, they take tea. You can't overwork people like you do here in America. So it's just a weird, ambitious thing that didn't quite pan out.
Yeah. So I also found that quote, and in preparation for one of us saying it, I made a list of 4 movies that are worse than this movie by far.
Ooh,
you want to hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. How High?
Yeah.
That I try to go back and watch that movie and not shudder with how sexist it is. It's incredibly inappropriate. A movie that we are going to be doing soon, Mark, Van Helsing.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
There is no denying that Van Helsing is worse than this movie. It's still fun, but it's not. This movie's better. Bordello of Blood.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah,
that's a Universal movie too. And then the final one is Leap Year. And like a lot of movie aggregators always call that one of the worst movies that come out in 2000. I guess it's the aughts.
Do you think he's just sour about how much money they spent on it?
He has to be, because it is not that bad. Like it has its faults, but I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was good.
And you know, for me, there are some movies that I don't really think are good movies, but if they're visually interesting or they swing for the fences and miss, like a lot of people go after the Wachowskis for Jupiter Ascending, but that movie swings. They took a bat and just tried to hit a home run on every shot. And no matter how much people sort of rag on it because of how expensive it was, I still like it because it's insane and it's loaded. And I don't know, I guess I keep saying it over and over, but that's why I keep coming back to this film, because I don't know, there's always something visually interesting for me to look at, and I dig it.
Sidebar with Jupiter Ascending, it's one of my favorite films, and I will defend that movie to death.
I mean, me too. I did a list one time. I'm like, in 2 hours, there's 7 space battles, 3 weddings. Like, there's just 2 nut shots. You could do a list of everything they pack into that film, and it's just glorious. There's, I don't know, bees. There's a city fight. A city gets repaired. There's an entire cleaning of houses. There's a bureaucracy planet. I mean, there's a space orgy. There's just so much in that movie, and they jam-packed it. I dig it. And it makes me, I don't know, I like it. But it just seems, I don't know. It just annoys me that they're ragging on this movie later on. When I don't know, I dig it. It's fun. I mean, I'm not going to say it. I was going to go, is it a classic? But can I ask you something, David?
Yeah.
Like, so many people, we've talked about this before, but so, like, it's not an Oscar winner, but I mean, actually, this movie is an Oscar winner, but this was just meant to be a gothic film that was fun. Like, I don't think they were swinging to get Oscar nominations for this, and I guess that in general, like people watch that movie Becky with what's
Kevin James.
Kevin James, and they're like, well, it's not Oscar worthy. But how often are movies like Becky Oscar worthy? I don't know. That's just my rant. I'll get. I mean,
there's 25 to 30 movies a year that are Oscar worthy.
You know what?
Maybe max 50 out of thousands of movies. Like the percentage of that is so low.
Exactly, and I don't know. So I think. I don't know. This is so weird. I'm gonna switch gears here. What do you think about Del Toro's Caesar cut in this movie? Do you like it?
I laughed really hard when I saw it. It's weird looking. I thought it was a wig. I don't think it's a wig. I think he just dyed his hair, but it's strange.
I just love. I do dig the Caesar cut. It's just it looks. But we never get to know Larry Talbot, do we? We know nothing about him.
No, we know that he's not a good actor, despite them saying he is.
Yeah,
which is actually like a part of it. I read somewhere that was done on purpose. Like he's not supposed to be a good actor, or he was miscast in the role of Hamlet, and that's what it was supposed to show. But you never quite get that. So it's not that Benicio del Toro was bad acting poorly in that scene, that he was acting as a person who was a bad actor playing Hamlet.
That's fun.
Yeah, we don't get to know him. Like everything about that character, I took from the original Wolfman, and everything I knew about the Universal monster movies, and how that character is tormented by being the Wolfman, and how he doesn't want to be, and he doesn't want to hurt people, and transpose it onto this other character. And that was really probably my biggest critique, is that I just don't know Benicio del Toro's character at all, because he's clearly torn about what's happening, and he has emotions. But when you think about Lon Chaney Jr., like there's these scenes where he's begging people, like I don't want to turn into a werewolf, and Benicio del Toro's character didn't get that moment. So like when he woke up after he killed all those people, he's like hiding in the woods and then is immediately tracked down. You don't see the repercussions of him realizing that he has killed, was it a dozen people?
Yeah. Are they killing him over and over again in that place? Are they trying to cure him? Or they they're seeing how they can kill him to, like, does that, like, they know he's a werewolf? Or they know he's it's just kind of odd, because they're dunking him in ice water, they're electrocuting him. Are they trying to kill him and have him come back? Are they trying to study him? What are they doing to him in that place?
They're trying to cure him, but this was, what was it, the late 1800s, early 1900s?
Yeah.
And that's just, medicine was wild back in the day, right? Like
just dunking them.
Do some cocaine and you'll be happy.
Leech them, blood them,
yeah,
bleed them.
Leech them, but do some coke, you'll be great. Dunk them in cold water, they'll reset their nervous system. Yeah, they were trying to cure him because they didn't believe he was a werewolf until he turned into a werewolf and then wrecked the entire the Citad, I guess, or the Academy.
So when he turns into a werewolf, he does not have control. So Anthony Hopkins has control of the werewolf when he comes out, but he does not, correct? But at the end, Gwen kind of talks him makes some sense to him, and he stops. Larry stops. But in England, he's just killing people willy-nilly. Is that...
Yeah.
But yeah. Because it was interesting, both Joe Johnston, I read an interview with... There's a really long interview with Harry Knowles and Joe Johnston where essentially they were... Joe's like, I don't have much time on this, so I'm just running and gunning. Every day I got to focus on what I have to do every day. This is really tough. But he said both me and Del Toro, we didn't want our werewolf to be a murderer. We wanted him to be placed in situations. So I guess when he first becomes a werewolf, he tries to run away and goes after a deer. And he's cornered and he has to kill those people. And then when he's put in the sanitarium, he's tied up in front of all the idiot scientists. And then he just goes on a rampage. So, and at the end, he switches to kill his dad. So I guess they did that, but I don't know if that really rings unless you've read it and know that about the character. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah. And I think that's not quite the spirit of the original, because the original is about a basically good man who's killing people and he doesn't want to, and he can't stop and no one believes him. And this one, it's like a good man, maybe. I mean, yeah, a good man who's killing people who are antagonizing him. So it limits sort of the dread and horror of what's happening and focuses more on the gore.
Oh, yeah, it puts it... Yeah, that's interesting. It's not very psychological.
No,
I would say.
No,
like
no.
It's more idiots, I'm gonna kill you. It's not, oh wow, that's a good point. Yeah, there's nothing there's no you never witness any inner torment with Larry.
Exactly.
I love saying Larry. Oh my gosh.
Lawrence Talbot.
Yeah.
So I read an interview with Anthony Hopkins about this movie, and right up front, I think this is the most interesting part of it. And he said that he believes The Wolfman is an American story about something that happens in Britain. So I want to just ask you, do you think The Wolfman is an American movie or a British movie?
That's a good point. It's very tied up in Gothic. So I think you tend to look more towards England for that. Do you not? With the kind of Gothic atmosphere?
Mm-hmm. You can look towards American stuff and the older homes on the East Coast and in, the Deep South and maybe New Orleans. But it does feel like this whole film really revolves around being in a dark, dangerous place that, the Midwest isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, you need the bogs. You need the dark trees. You need the overcast skies. So I guess you could shoot this in the Pacific Northwest or... Mm-hmm. You can't have you could shoot a great werewolf film in Australia, obviously. There's a lot of outback out there, but that's interesting. I don't know. This plot could take place anywhere, though. I think this movie's universal. Could. Hey, Universal, oh brother.
Yeah, but you want it to be in a gothic, dark, and moody atmosphere because that's sort of the vibe of all the other Universal movies. And when I was thinking about this, I would say I think Anthony Hopkins is right. This was written by an American. It was by an American company about something that happened in Britain. And if we wanted to see this happen in America, it would probably, for me, have to take place near New Orleans. And it wouldn't necessarily be a werewolf story, but a story about the loup-garou, which is, it's still a werewolf, but, just a different name.
Mm-hmm. Or in Florida, it could be the swamp ape.
The swamp ape. Yeah, it's so bright. Like I love that everything's like really dreary, and it feels like the set itself is pushing down on people.
They shoot it really well. I don't know if you noticed this though. There's a couple points where I love how dark and moody it is. There's a scene where Hopkins and Gwen are talking. I guess Sir John and Gwen are talking, and it's just beautifully lit. It's sumptuous. But there's other times where on one of the bottom windows, there's a light shooting straight through the window, and it's parallel with the ground. So that's not, and it's not exactly during sunset time. So they did some funky stuff with lighting here to make it look gothic. But I guess it's just another otherworldly feel you want to get. But the lighting isn't exactly the most practical. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
They're not using practical lights to create a gothic vibe. They're really molding it, which is totally fine with me, but I did notice that several times. Like, why is that light there?
So Mark, one thing that this movie got me thinking about is what makes a good werewolf movie? What makes a top echelon werewolf film?
I guess if we look at, there's a few that immediately come to mind. And sorry if I'm being super basic here, but you do have the American Werewolf in London. It's a surprise. It's uncontrollable. The first change into a werewolf is painful and brutal, and it's a tough transformation. And I do think it's a sense of dread. It's lurking, and one thing I do love is where in this movie Hopkins just locks himself in a room, and Toro just changes. You don't know what's going to happen. And there's no dread to it. I think there's one where you see the sun coming down, and this is your first... so the audience knows what werewolves can happen, but the character doesn't. And just seeing this person maybe trying to get to safety and not... I just think it involves loss. It involves... It's got to be a painful transformation, at least for me. Practical effects, I think, are necessary. And just a good person going down the drain. I guess that's... for me is what I like. I don't know. What about you?
I think you hit it. Like my two main points of any werewolf movie is that it has to show a character being tormented. These films are really about a human, devolving into something that's not human. And so I want to see that pain. I want to see them be upset with the things they do. I want to see people not believing them. It's like they're still trying to do good things, and people just won't believe in, I guess curses.
And they can't cheat at basketball.
Oh God, they can't cheat at basketball or ride or surf on top of vans. The other element, and I think this is part of most of the classic horror stories is that there needs to be a good, strong love story, because you end up having, having a connection between the werewolf and then the love interest. So you're always worried about the love interest, because you don't want the person who's a werewolf, you can't control what they're doing, to kill the love interest.
Like in American Werewolf in London at the end.
Yeah,
Well, she doesn't die, but that threat's there and the thing gets killed.
Yeah, and that's what sort of in this film what I was struggling with is, I think the idea of Benicio del Toro having a relationship with Emily Blunt's character is pretty cool. It's a weird relationship, first off, but I understand why it's there. But I wanted to see more chemistry between them.
Yeah,
because
more
that would
time.
because it felt really rushed, because you're like, oh wait, now they're in love, like what happened here? Because it all the story beats make sense, but they just happen so quickly.
And at the end, I guess in the director's cut in this, when they finally do kiss, you're kind of thinking to yourself, why? No, like, you didn't need that. Like I think what could have worked here is there's a scene where he tells her, like, listen, you are unbelievable, and my brother was killed because he wanted to leave with you, and Hopkins went off the rails and killed his son to keep you here, and he likes her. And I think the whole thing is they both have this affection for each other. Maybe her helping him clean up or helping him heal, that kind of stuff. And they have this thing that's never, like, they can never consummate it. And so you have this thing where these two people have this connection, but the biggest loss is that they're never able to get together. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. That would make it more interesting.
And, they have the kiss, whatever. But it would have been neat if he's just like, man, she's incredible, but I'm a werewolf. And then it just, I don't know. I think that's where this movie maybe could have worked, as opposed to delivering a full-blown love story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But I guess they don't really have, this is wild, man. The director's cut is 2 hours.
I watched every minute of that.
It's I keep thinking, where did the time go? This movie does not drag. Never once did I look at my watch. So I have an episode coming up. There's a movie that was 90 minutes, and I swear to you, I was looking at my watch every 10 minutes, just going, where? Come on. But this 2 hours flies by, but it's kind of wild that they couldn't pack in a few more scenes between them. Like, not the silly rock skipping,
I read somewhere that they cut it down from even more. It was like the original cut was like 2.5 hours or something.
Man, give me that. I could see, though. Have you watched 1 Hour Photo with Mark Romanek?
I have, but it's been a very long time.
I mean, that's a pot boiler. I mean, I think that's the right word, where it just boils over and the suspense just becomes almost unbearable. I would have liked to see that version of this, because that's what you need, the building tension towards the final showdown and the mystery, but it doesn't happen. I guess maybe
talking about final showdowns and mysteries. So this is a remake, and I didn't know anything about it going into it other than Benicio del Toro and Sir Anthony Hopkins was in it. But because of the nature of remakes, you always know there's going to be a twist, right? So when I was watching it, I was like, who's the werewolf? Is it going to be Emily Blunt? Like, is Emily Blunt the other werewolf? So I was a little bit disappointed when it turned out it was Anthony Hopkins.
That'd be cool.
It would be a really cool switch. Like you play him as being really evil, and then all of a sudden, oh no, it's Emily Blunt's character.
He's keeping her locked up there.
Yeah.
And they're worried about her because she was. Oh, that'd be neat. I'd be down for some Emily Blunt werewolf stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And speaking of Emily Blunt, this is just an overall statement of her as an actor. I don't know when I became knew of Emily Blunt. Like, it feels like she just like one day popped into my head and she was a full person. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, she's famous. And it didn't happen it just happened overnight. I was like, I've never seen any of these movies. And then all of a sudden she's famous.
The Devil Wears Prada. That's what blew her up. I've seen it. Oh yeah, she's in that. So it's the main characters are Streep, Hathaway. But she is the assistant to Streep, and she's just super sassy and just a cool character who kind of, eventually becomes friendly with Hathaway. You know what's interesting? Have you ever watched a film and you see an actor for the first time, you're like, that person's really good? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've done that.
That's kind of how I felt about watching her in that Devil Wears Prada. And also, man, Edge of Tomorrow, I think her performance is underrated. She's one of my favorite action heroes of recent memory.
Oh, that's a great film.
Rita Vataski, she's badass. And she doesn't act like a badass. She's not doing the Adrian Brody and Predators. We're tough. I got a deep voice. Like, you just buy it. And she's a good actor.
I mean, I think you hit on something that I'm really excited to talk about when we cover The Mummy, which how I got there was Emily Blunt was in Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is in The Mummy. We're going to cover The Mummy because we're going through all of the Universal remakes. It's a game that we're going to play, Mark. It's going to be called Tommy Wiseau or Tom Cruise. And I'm going to give you a movie, and you're going to tell me if it would be better with Tommy Wiseau as the main character or Tom Cruise as the main character.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, my gosh.
I've been waiting to do that one for a long time with you, so hopefully that one's soon.
Oh, that sounds good. Hey, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll finish talking about this movie. We have a fun draft, and I think you have some questions for me, right? So we'll cover all that?
I do, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, so we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I just got to say, David Cross is the co-host of an excellent podcast called the Award Wieners Movie Review Podcast. So what they do is they cover an Academy Award-winning movie, which is a lot of fun, and then they come up with a neat hot dog recipe for it. We recently did an episode where we drafted our favorite Fast and Furious characters, and David made a Fast and Furious dog that was absolutely amazing. So if you want to listen to some cool stuff, follow him. Look for Award Wieners on Instagram. Look for him on Facebook, Twitter, and then go listen wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll find it. But Award Wieners, I guarantee you'll love it. And you'll learn a lot about movies. That's what I like about it. You actually learn things, which makes listening worth it. You guys actually respect your listeners, which makes me happy. So, yeah, I decided to do that quick plug because I always forget.
Thank you so much. And the 100%, the Furious dog, what I called it, was the best hot dog I've made out of 50-something episodes. It is literally the best.
Oh, man, that was so good. Yeah, that's fuel right there. I liked it. That's the Nas of hot dogs.
Nas of hot dogs. Oh boy.
I dug that. No, but hey, I got something for us. Since we've talked a lot about Benicio del Toro, I want to do a Benicio del Toro draft that people can vote on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook the day after this episode is released. So what we do is we draft 5 Del Toro movies. If one's picked, we can't pick the other one, and then you can vote on it on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. So, David, 1 or 2? Pick one, number 1 or 2.
1.
Oh, well, hey, we're number 2. Hey, nice. And I only. Oh, wow. And I only say 2. So did I just trick you?
You did. I knew that too, but I don't know why I did 1.
that's my goal. So everyone always picks 2, but the one time that someone picks 1 makes me so happy. I get in people's heads, and then they switch it. All right. So I get the first pick. This is crazy. This never happens. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. All right. So he's won Academy Awards. He's been in a bunch of movies. He's been excellent in. Oh gosh, this is tough. All right. I'm gonna go with Snatch because I think he's really funny in that movie.
I did not realize he was in Snatch.
Yeah, he's the Four Fingers.
Oh, that's right. He is. Wow. Okay. So this is hard. I feel like everyone knows his big movies, right? Like the ones that plastered across Instagram movie community. But I'm going to go way back, Mark. So far back that people are going to laugh at me, but I don't care. I'm going with Big Top Pee-wee.
Big Top Pee-wee. I love it. And he plays the hairy guy.
He does. He basically plays a Wolfman.
Oh, I love that. That's fun. I haven't seen that movie in forever. I'm going to go with Sicario. He reunited Emily Blunt, so they must have liked each other. Roger Deakins shot the film, so it looks beautiful. Denis Villeneuve directed it. And I just love the look of the movie. And I like how unselfish Emily Blunt's character was. And I like how just legit that Benicio del Toro was. So I'm going to say Sicario.
Yeah, that's a great pick. So I'm going to go with the classic that I think really is what launched his career. And that is The Usual Suspects.
Oh, yeah. I'll flip you. I'll flip you. Oh, man. All right. The Usual. He's so good in that. Everybody was so good in that movie. Jeez Louise. All right, I'm going to go a really weird one here. And this is crazy, but I'm going to go License to Kill.
Oh, that was my next pick.
He is such a good henchman. And I like the villain in that movie. I just had to do this massive research thing about all the Bond movies. And I like Robert Davi a lot in it. I like how unhinged Del Toro is. So, yeah, I had to pick that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, all right. So these are all hard because you want to pick his best movies. And I guess I got to go with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He's very, very good in that film. I I don't know if I like that film, but I like him in it.
It's a trip, literally.
It is. It is. Like,
Oh, I did not mean that.
yeah, and then yeah, it's an interesting thing. Let's put it that way, because I read the book and then went and watched the movie, and I'm a little bit like, do I like this? I don't know if I like this.
I gotta apologize for saying that it's a trip, but I had to do it.
It's so good.
If I don't pick this, I think people will complain. So I'm gonna go with The Hunted, where he has a massive William Friedkin directed The Hunted, where he has a knife fight. Oh, I gotta cover that in Final Fights. Wow, a knife fight with Tommy Lee Jones that is quite epic. So I'm gonna go. I have to do that. I have to go with The Hunted.
Yeah. So this is hard.
Man, he's been in more. Oh, sorry.
There's been a lot of really good stuff. Just a lot of really good stuff. I guess I'm gonna go with Sin City.
Sin City's
Yeah,
good.
it is good. I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember really liking it when it came out. We were at that stage in society where everyone was still trying to really make things imitate comic books. Mm-hmm. It was like Sin City and even Ang Lee's Hulk were trying to give you that look of like, oh, this is happening on page. I'm glad we got away from that. Yeah. But that was like part of it.
That Sin City actually looks the part. It looks. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. Rodriguez did a great job of creating a vibe. It didn't. I guess all the effects they fit the story, mm-hmm. which I really dug. All right, I got two things I can do. That the people love him in Way of the Gun, right? Yep. People love him in Inherent Vice. Man, I enjoy that film. Then there's he won an Oscar for Traffic. He's in this movie Wolfman. I'm gonna go with he's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's true, but such a small role.
I'm gonna go with something that is gonna annoy people, but I'm just gonna have some fun with it, and I don't care. I'm gonna say Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Oh my God, I was worried if you were gonna pick that one. That's so far abreast. It's not even in my list of things I could pick from because I dislike that role so much.
And I think that's why I do it, because Del Toro pops up in a Star Wars movie, and he's 100% Del Toro, and he has a weird, kind of tick to him. And then he just betrays everybody and leaves with a ton of money, and you never hear from him. It's
so weird. It's so weird.
It's insane, and I love that a $1 billion grossing film has Benicio del Toro being Benicio del Toro. But I love our picks, man. Listen to this. We have. Oh wait, you have one last one.
I have one more.
I'm not used to this. You know what's funny? Yeah. I am so not used. I'm used to having the last pick every time. All right, what do you got?
All right, so the big thing is either Traffic or The Way of the Gun. And I'm going to be frank with you, Mark. I haven't seen either of those movies, so I need your help picking which one of those. So it's like The Way of the Gun everyone loves, but Traffic is the one he won the Academy Award for.
I remember when I saw Traffic in theaters. I'm telling you, I thought to myself, Del Toro's going to win an Oscar. And this is one of my rare premonitions that I have. I mean, it's such a soulful performance. He's just on a next level in this film, in Traffic. Way of the Gun is the classic 2001 cult classic that's quite vulgar. It's stylish. It's kind of Tarantino-esque, but not Tarantino-esque. But it's a cult classic that whenever people see, they vote for it. So you're either going for Traffic, which people may not vote for, or you're going for a cult classic that he's not as good in. It's a lot more edgy, and I don't know if it holds up as well, but you're going for that. So it's either one of those two.
I'm going to go with Traffic because I think, if my memory serves, part of that was shot in Cincinnati, where I'm from.
Hey! Nice.
So it's just picking it, you know?
And so we have some good movies here. I have Sicario, License to Kill, The Hunted, and Star Wars: The Last Jedi. You have Big Top Pee-wee, The Usual Suspects, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Sin City, and Traffic. I think you got it. I think this win is yours. Star Wars is going to cost me, but I have more. I like when these things stop becoming fun for me. I want to stop doing them. So I want to gamble every now and again.
Well, the thing with Star Wars is like people either love it or hate it. So you could get people who love him in that movie. You really could.
What's the over under on Star Wars sucks comments that I'm going to get? I'm going to go
at least 5. I'm one of them. So
I'm gonna say 3. I got hope in it because we built a really positive place on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. I think it's one of the more positive places you can go on the internet. So you know what? I'm gonna say 2 because we built such a good thing here. So I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna do 2. Now,
I don't want to hate. You know what? I am not a fan of the last trilogy, and I don't want to hate on it too much. I will say that there are some really fun moments. There are some really, really good moments across all 3 of them. They're just tempered by some really head scratching moments.
So one quick thing, and we can kind of tie, Wolfman they hired new directors, they didn't really have this clear goal, they changed a lot of scripts, but I've been watching the documentary about The Mandalorian and how it was made. And so it's a 10-part documentary about the making of it, and it's quite mind-blowing. Like, you should check it out if you haven't watched it on Disney+. But they went into it, every episode was previs, there was an entire arc for the story. I think they learned from Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, where they thought, well, we'll just give each director a chance to do whatever the heck they want to do, which blows my mind.
That's crazy. It's insane.
Listen, I don't mind what Rian Johnson did, just simply because Force Awakens is essentially a remake, a reboot. And so, he said, you know what, JJ, I'm not playing in your sandbox. Like, F your couch. I'm going to make my own movie. Which I would never, I couldn't fathom being a producer, a showrunner, whatever, an overseer, and allow 3 people to have 3 different visions on a Star Wars trilogy. But it's kind of crazy. And I think it'll be good to look back in years later as a case of just, you make a safe first film, then you make a totally unsafe second film, and then the third film goes back to redoing what the first film did, and it feels like everyone drank Red Bull during it. And I love it. And I own all 3 of them. I have the fancy Blu-rays, but it's because I'm just a Star Wars stan. But, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. So it's neat. I want to see the evolution from here on with story arcs.
I mean, I think the middle one's going to be critically people are going to look at it in new light and say it's better than all the hate. I've looked at it many times. I still don't like it. but I think it is going to be reevaluated as positive because it is very transgressive. It's an interesting movie. So I wanted to do one thing before we sign off. I wanted to talk about just classic Universal monsters.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to rank the classic ones, which ones that we think are the best. And I put a list together and I can give them to you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So there's Frankenstein's monster, The Bride, Wolfman, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, just The Creature, The Invisible Man, and Dracula. So I want to figure out, how should we rank them? So is this like which ones we like the best? Is it our favorites? Who would win? Who would beat who in a fight? Like, and then put that together.
Wow.
Who's the scariest, maybe?
I mean, the Invisible Man, I would say, is the scariest because that's the character who goes the furthest, maybe, in the classic Universal horror films with the murder.
I mean, Dracula murders some people.
Yeah, but his performance is so soulful, what he finds with Dracula, and it's so debonair and interesting, and like what Bella crushes it. Not Bella. Yeah, Bella Lugosi.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's Bela or Bella. I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways on oh my god, the classic Hollywood podcast, they call it Bela.
Oh, okay. So Bela Lugosi.
But I'm not sure. I would trust her. She's really good.
What did they say in Ed Wood?
I haven't seen that in so long, I couldn't tell you.
All right, so I will say my favorite moments happen in Frankenstein where he throws a girl in the water because it's tragic and it's a murder, but it's an accident. It's a child with an incredibly large body not knowing the world and something tragic happening. And then Bride of Frankenstein is so iconic, just what happens. So, but I also think Frankenstein's monster is my least favorite, because I don't think I've ever liked a Frankenstein movie aside from those moments in there. This is tough.
Interesting. It's super tough.
I mean, I love The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I like that movie a lot. They filmed it near us in Tallahassee, right? They found it when we went to Tallahassee. They filmed it in the springs there. I love the underwater shots of that and the curiosity of it. Invisible Man just seems the most unhinged. Hollow Man kind of wrecks that for me. And then who else was there? We had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as well.
No, we didn't have in there. We only had 6. The Invisible Man and Wolfman and Dracula. I think you covered them all.
I gotta go. All right, so my favorite's Creature, because if I had room, I would have every Mondo Creature from the Black Lagoon exclusive. I had one up on my wall for years. I have World's End now, but just the look, and I love sea beasts, because you know me. So I'm gonna say Creature's my favorite. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. But my favorite movie is probably Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. What about you?
I think that's a really good pick, and this is hard for me. So my order is, I think my favorite is Frankenstein because the monster is not necessarily evil because he doesn't know any better, and as the series progresses, he becomes more humane. Actually, the monster in that movie is Frankenstein, not the monster.
The monster becomes an opera singer in Van Helsing.
Oh God, I forgot about my second favorite is The Bride. I love The Bride. It's so iconic. And then it's actually The Wolfman, third, because he's very soulful and emotional, and he reminds me that good people can do bad things, or might do bad things. And I just love his performance in it, because it's so, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you just feel emotionally attached to this guy who just doesn't want to hurt people, and yet he knows he's going to.
Well, you said soulful, and I think you nailed that right there. I think you did a good job. Like, there's a reason these movies are so iconic, and it's just the people in these suits or in the makeup that are able to nail their performances so well.
Yeah. And then I have Dracula. I think that's a good one. I mean, everyone knows Dracula. He's just a cool character. I haven't seen the Spanish version of the original movie, which was just the same sets with different actors shot at the same time. And I think it's supposed to be better than the original one. And then there's The Creature. The Creature's sort of neutral for me. Like, it's a creature that I like. I just don't think you don't know much of its personality. And then finally, my least favorite is The Invisible Man. He's a real bad dude.
Yeah, he is, and he's the most violent. He's the
yeah.
I mean, Dracula's a vampire. He got turned into a vampire, and so you sort of lose your soul. The Wolfman, you don't want to commit violence. Frankenstein's monster and the Bride, they were created. The Creature, I think, they go into its territory. It's living its own life, and it suffers because of that. And then you just have the Invisible Man, who's a monster.
Yeah. He's like, I like talking to myself. Claude Rains is pretty awesome in it, though. I'm not going to lie.
Dude, all those guys are so good. And women, they're all so good. And I've long been in... But I guess for me, I just love the Creature. I love sea beasts, so I'm taking... I know it's not a sea beast. It's from a lagoon. But I'm taking the Creature. But you can't lose with any of them. Doesn't mean I hate any of them. Or doesn't mean I dislike any of them. I just would take that.
And so the final thing I wanted to chat about is that we are on this journey where we're reviewing all these Universal remakes. And what do we want to do next, Mark?
Oh, we're gonna do The Mummy. The Tom Cruise.
The Mummy?
Yeah.
Great. We could finally do Tommy Wiseau or Tom Cruise.
There's some things I just got to get off of my chest about The Mummy. It's just the Lothario Tom Cruise thing just feels so uncomfortable to me. And then Russell Crowe, and I love the windows blowing up, though. That's inspired. But hey, how about this? I want to do something real quick. We've talked about our favorite moments, but let's do our 5 favorite kills, because there are some great Rick Baker effects in this. So what were your favorite kills in this movie?
Yeah, let me pull my list up, because I did make a list. Had to go back and watch it again. Okay, at number 5 for me is the person who has his back ripped open.
Oh,
so
yeah. Cool. Yeah, that looks good.
Do you want to go back and forth?
Oh,
or
yeah, I'll go. So I like it when McQueen he's the guy who talks about, he's in the bar in the beginning. Everyone's drinking liquor and or beer, and Del Toro's drinking wine, by the way. I like that little touch. But McQueen is the guy who goes, yeah, there was a werewolf who attacked a guy, and there was a lot of buckshot, and everything was killed. But he gets ripped into a pit with the Wolfman, and he gets his arm ripped off, and the Wolfman throws his arm up out of the pit, and then the gun shoots. And it's just a cheeky, bloody gag. I mean, I know McQueen's dead after that, but I just like the arm throw, the arm rip. And at Movies, Films, and Flicks, I wrote an article about arm losing. So that's my number 1, is just the cheeky McQueen gets his arm ripped off gag.
My number 4 is the doctor getting thrown out the window and landing on spikes.
Yes.
And it's like anytime you're somewhere and someone gets thrown out, they always land on spikes. It's like a spike or a car roof. That's it. They never just like splat.
I love the double. So the throw is enough to kill you, but they just have you land on something else. I love it when they go the double. And that's the Sean Bean classic right there.
Sean Bean classic. Because absolutely true.
GoldenEye, he falls, and then a satellite lands on him. In Patriot Games, he gets impaled by a anchor, and then a boat explodes. Like he's the king of the double, and so I love a good double thing.
Could we invent the triple?
Yes. I think a triple's happened to him before.
I do it. That's a weird article that I would love to see, Mark. I don't even know how you would do it.
I'll do it. Why not? That's fun. The double.
The best. I mean, it would be called the best double taps in the movie, but then you would also call it the best triple taps.
You know what? I should do that. All right, I'll start pulling stuff together. And I guess my second one is the doctor. He gets stuck in a bog, and he goes to shoot himself in the head, and the Wolfman just knocks his head off. I mean, we're talking...
There's a lot of decapitations in this.
He knocks head offs like they're just butter. It's just place a balloon on a table and hit it. That's what the heads look like in this movie when he whaps them.
That's a really good scene, and as we talked about earlier, it just evaporated from my mind. I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
Fever dream. It is you end the movie sweating and not knowing where you are.
Okay, so my number 3 is the constable getting stabbed through the mouth.
Yes, I have that too.
Yeah, I was like, because what's interesting about this film is that they have to kill anyone the creature attacks. They have to kill, or there's another werewolf running around complicating the story. So everyone who comes in contact with him dies.
And he gets his fingers ripped off first.
Yeah.
And then he catches a claw. So does the Wolfman go underneath his mouth and then curls it around and then rips out his jaw? Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. All right, so for me, my third is the Smush Cop. Actually, my fourth, because I have that guy. But I'm gonna do when the werewolf jumps out, when Benicio jumps off a building. There's a cop standing there, and he just lands right on top of him. And he just gets smushed. Benicio jumps down and just smushes a cop. So that's because it's just, I love good smushing gags. And so I love a good werewolf smushing gag in this. So that's mine. Okay.
My number 2 is Ben's death, because I think it's drawn out and you don't know what's going on. And I like the ending of you're being surprised that you see the wolf swiping at him.
Yeah, that was good. I like the way they set that up. Poor Ben, he was trying to leave and his dad kills him. His dad gets jealous.
Wait, yeah, his motivations are pretty strange. Like, I don't quite get them. I think Sir John is basically like, I want to have a great time forever, so I'm going to keep being the werewolf.
And then Singh gets lit up, and we never see that happen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Poor Singh. That guy's from True Lies. He was a villain in that movie. All right, so I'm going to go with my last one is they're in the sanitarium, and he escapes, and he just Lawrence digs into a guy's chest and just pulls out a 1 foot by 6 inch chunk of meat from the guy's stomach. I guess he just rips out an entire steak out of a guy. And it's just it's such a slab of meat coming out of a man that just rips out easily. So that's mine. That's mine.
All right. My number 1 is Sir John's decapitation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that a double kill? He's on fire and he gets his head knocked off?
Yes, that is a double kill. All right, so I got to figure these out. The best double kills, because his body has it's all fur, so he's just gone up in flames. I don't know why I'm laughing. And then his little head gets whopped off like a balloon on a table.
So many decapitations.
Oh man, but it won an Oscar for a reason. I will say that. But
when I looked that up, I told my partner, and I was like, Sarah, this movie is an Oscar winner. I can't believe it. It blew my mind.
Well, Rick Baker, man, he's won Academy Awards for American Werewolf in London, Harry and the Hendersons, Coming to America, The Nutty Professor, Ed Wood, Men in Black, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And then he's also worked on Life and Norbit. And this guy has done some of the greatest practical effects ever. I mean, the dude has so many Oscars. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
But Rick Baker deserves it. I like do you like the look of these werewolves?
I do. I do think they're pretty interesting. They are very muscular. They're clearly drawing inspiration from the original. I think I prefer more of the 4-legged dog though from American Werewolf in London. So it's not like I dislike what we've seen, but I prefer more bestial. And
they did reshoots to have him on his 4 feet more. So in
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the beginning he was just running around. And on the extras of the Blu-ray, there's a really cool featurette where they showed all the scenes and all this. If you watch the extras on the Blu-ray, you'll see how much green screen and blue screen was used. But what they did was, to make him run faster in one of the shots, non-CGI, they had a truck with this big carpet, and the truck was going about, 10, 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, and then the werewolf was running, a stunt actor was running on the carpet to make it look faster. So they did. Oh, wow. Yeah, they did a couple really neat practical shots where a guy's being towed by a truck and it makes him look like he's running faster.
That's really cool.
He's running on a carpet, like a flat. So those things you run and slide on? There's like a burlap sack that looks like that, and a stunt actor's running on it while a car is pulling it. It's pretty neat. I dig it. But oh, and also I want to tell you something really cool. So Anthony Hopkins wanted to be in this movie so much that he, even before his contract was signed, he respected Rick Baker so much that he showed up and did his prosthetics, the full mask that you have to sit through, before his contract was signed. His agents told him not to. Hopkins, like, I'm Sir Anthony Hopkins. Leave me alone. And he went and worked with Rick Baker before the contract, so Rick had time to do it.
He's like, I love monster movies.
Yeah.
This and Bram Stoker.
Oh, I love Bram Stoker's. That's one of our biggest episodes, man. It's
fantastic. That movie's way underrated.
That's another one that went off the rails expenditure-wise, too, which makes me very happy. I love it. They're like, Francis, you can't go on location anymore. He's like, I'll shoot it all in studio. So like, okay. And then it went way over budget and over time. You're like, damn it, Francis.
He's like, told you.
Yeah, exactly. No, but thank you for talking about this. Thank you for coming in and joining me on this. I mean, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time and kind of get my thoughts out there for it. But at the end of the day, I mean, Joe Johnston had 3 weeks to prep for this. The actors were game, and it looks beautiful. And I'm going to watch it again. So even after this, so yeah. I'm glad you joined me.
I feel like we were appropriately critical. I do like this movie, and I encourage people to watch it because it is extremely unique.
Yes, they're extremely unique. And you can see, no, you can't really see all the money on screen, but it has moments that make it worth it. And there's really great lighting, so no, I dig it. This is cool. But yeah, man, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for David Cross, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.